Oh, let's see. How can I monitor this stuff? Some way. Oh, yeah, the chat works. Need to not do that. Definitely not do that. Need to edit audience. Make it this. None of those are things that I want to do. Let's see, edit live video. There we go. And then on the YouTubes, click on this. And then Twitch. Um, where am I at? Go here, I think. And it shows up. Wow. So that's from Twitch. That's from YouTube. And that's from Facebook. And if I go back, let's just check it on Twitch. You can see them all. Cool. And then go back to this. Go back to the OBS. And I can switch it to the printer. I think the chat will need to be adjusted, but I'm not going to do that right now. And then I can switch between the two. Go here, here. All right, so that's working. What am I on? I am on the. I am on Fusion. Okay, cool. So in theory, I can move this back over here. It needs background noise, doesn't it? Um, Even if it's just light background noise, I think something it's got to be better than nothing, right? Um, go media request. What the shit is that? I don't know. Oh, it's gallery. Uh, oh yeah, now. No, no, no. Um, oh, I know what I could do, possibly. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. I don't know which one of these is playing. That's muted. Muted. Facebook's not even playing. Okay, so let's go over here and see how this works out. uh, click on this one. Y'all. Y'all. On YouTube, you can't really tell even playing. Kinda. Twitch. It is Bitor. What happens if I do this? Any of these things work? There's currently no giveaway running, so at least that's working. Okay, so back to elements, type. What is this? I have no idea what this is. Gotcha. Okay, so that's chatbot. I think it was in chatbot. Chat commands. So contest, show currently running contest. Giveaway, show currently active giveaway. How do you activate the giveaway? Not that I have anything to give away by any stretch, but how do you activate it? App agent, open store, raffle, super moderator, nuke user, Zoom, command. Do that now. Custom commands, new modules. Timers, counters, banned words, blah, 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 blah. So let me try this. If I go to dashboard, doodad, stream manager, can you enable a giveaway? Stop raids, raid a channel, manage goals, stream together. Blah, 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 blah. None of that stuff. So, drops, rewards, settings. I mean, I don't have anything to give away anyway, so why am I sticking with that? No clue. No clue. Let's go back. Chat thing. So I should see. I should see comments from Facebook anywhere else, so I don't think I need to leave. I'm gonna leave that alone. Come back to here, and I don't need that. I'm gonna come back over here. Uh, hmm. All right, so I need. I feel like I definitely need music. I definitely feel like I need music. Okay, that over here. Let's see. So there's some wackadoo watching on Twitch. I don't see you, so I have no idea who it may be that's interested in watching me look like an idiot on here. But hey, there you are. Um, I couple things. I'm essentially playing with Twitch and OBS, trying to get this more or less set up for using in my basement versus streaming blacksmithing stuff out in the shop, which I kind of already have that set up. Um, I don't use a lot of this overlay crap for that, um, just because it's just too much to deal with while I'm forging. Um, but it gets cold. Like today, for instance, it's cold. It's not that cold, but it's cold enough that I don't have any pressing things to work on out there. So I'm not going to go out there and freeze my butt off. So I want to be able to do streaming things in the house. So I'm trying to set this up so I can do some stuff like that. Um, and it'll probably be mostly 3D printing stuff and design stuff in Fusion. I suck at Fusion, by the way. Um, but maybe somebody will catch a stream and be like, "Yo, if you did it like this, it'd be so much easier." I'm down for that. Um, but that's why, like currently, you're looking at the printer. So um, I love the fact that I can do that, and I have an idea for this going forward. But we'll see how that works out. It's a little the background would be a little busier than I was originally expecting, but we can play with that. Meanwhile, um, going to come back over here. It says there is one viewer, which I would assume is me. So I need, so am I still plugged in? I want to walk off with the cord hooked up. I'll be right back. I think. What did I do with it? It's over here somewhere. Here. Aha. So, on my 3D printer, or for my 3D printer, I have a filament sensor. This is the BTT Smart Filament Sensor version 2. And basically, if you don't know, you run your filament through here, and it will detect when there's no longer filament running through here. So it's got like a little optical sensor or something, mechanical sensor through here. And as the filament passes through it, do I have any filament over here? I do. So currently, the sensor would be triggered because there's nothing in here, or vice versa. I don't know how it actually runs, but you would run your filament through here, right? And then as the printer is pulling it through and using it up, it'll, once it passes through the sensor, it's going to go, uh-oh, we're out of filament, and it will pause your, ideally, it will pause your print so that you can refill it. And it's good to have a couple of those, actually. Just this one would be handy, but the problem I currently have, what is going on here? Okay, here's this. This is the ugliest filament I can find, by the way. This over here for it to spring open and attack me. So I had found a couple of mounts. This one seemed to be the closest to what I wanted. And these tabs go into the extrusion, and then it's got a spot for a screw to come through, like so. That is not all the way in, but close enough. Do I have? I do not. Anyways, a T-nut would go into this. Then you tighten it down to the extrusion. T-nut turns, locks it into place, and then this is mounted to this, essentially in this orientation. My problem is this is not the orientation I need it in. I don't want my filament coming up, out, and then making a weird loop and then coming, because it enters my printer, instead of up and down, it enters to the side. So I need one of these that will let me do it this way. And this screw hole pattern does not line up to allow for that. So what I need to do is modify this, because this is essentially all I want. What I need to do is modify this and then change the hole patterns so that I can mount it this way, which is essentially what I'm going to do in Fusion. So I just took the step file that was provided on printables for this, imported it into Fusion, and then I will alter the hole pattern. And again, I'm not like a Fusion professional by any stretch of the imagination. So what I want to do is see what we've got to work with here. this. I don't like this orientation at all. Oh, it's locked. There we go. It's still locked. Why is it still locked? Oops. Body 1. Very interesting. Let's try this again. Link. There we go. I don't care about that body. Don't need to see that. Move this guy. I'm just going to flip it over. There. Yeah, you can work from the bottom, but it turns white. I hate that for some reason. Prefer it gray. So really what I need to do is take this and invert it. Turn it 90 degrees. Or, yeah, really. That's, I don't know if I, yeah, no. Is it, see how everything is kind of the same thing here. So what I can do though, is instead of modifying this, what I can do is just inspect it real quick. This is easy enough. What I don't know is what's the spacing on the holes, right? So I need to figure, wow, what is going on here? I want to measure from here to here. So it looks like it's 10 mil. So flip it back over one more time just to be safe. One here, here. But this hole, it's 12. And I've got calipers. So an easy way to cheese this. I'm doing a lot of math. I don't like math. I do, but not on camera. 0. Measure this. If I can get on it. 5.2. .2. 0 that. Yeah. 10. Essentially 10. 9.9. It's 10 mil. So those holes are 10 mils apart. So now that I know that, and it's got 3 points, so I know 10, and then 22. 10 and 22. So, do I have a writing doodad over here? I do not. 10 and 22. Easy enough to remember. So, I will close this because I don't want it. Save. We'll create. Before we do that, create sketch. Boom. 22. I want it mounted essentially this way. I can flip, right? So, what is this? Actually, let's just measure this. It's 20. Okay. And I know I want this. This, so boom. So we'll make it 20. And then 53 plus 20. We'll make it 75. Double check this. This is 25. So we'll make it 25. I want 20 here. This is 5, 10, 15, 20. Just double check that. Yes. Okay. And then how long? I guess these don't matter too much. These tabs, all the tabs do is help prevent it from racking when you mount it. So, I don't know what this should be 6. Yeah, just under 6. 6. So, 2, 3.5. So, put a line. 1, 2. Make sure it's centered. Ish. Doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, sidetracked. Uh, so, I'm gonna get rid of that. Um, that should be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want these to be 6. So we'll come over here. 2, 3. Anyway. Hmm. 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 On a center line. This line. Your line. And in here. How tall is this thing again? 50? I think it was 50 something. 53. I just shaved off 20. 55. So I can drop down 5. Okay. So we're going to put a circle here. We're going to make it 3.4. Dimension from here to here be 10. Look right. So then got these two bigger than they need to be, by the way. So what I'm going to do is do a circle. Doesn't really matter where it's at. I'm just going to make it 3 right now. Come up here. That's not what I wanted to do. We'll do a rectangular pattern with this. 2. This over here. Distance is 10 mil. And in this direction, we want just 2. This was 20 mil, I think. Wrong way. 20 mil. Okay. Now I can go here to here. Be 5. Center's that. $15. And then from here, 15. Better. Okay. So in theory, it should work. Huh? What's going on here? Oh, no, I forgot. It's not snapping. So that will help it. Okay. Technically don't need that. I don't know how thick that should be. 6. Sounds good. Okay. Again, all these really do is prevent this from racking. So we're gonna look at that. Far so good. This is the back side, by the way. So we're gonna come over to this side. I want a hole. Centerboard. Pipe through. That is fine. Fine. Should be about 5.4. Point 4, 3, like 15 should be plenty of the way through. All right, there's that. Okay, so I want to inspect. For a minute. I want to inspect the top of this hole. To here. So it's 10. That's just to get to the bottom of that. So you would need 12mm screw just to get that much thread engagement on your T-nut. Not good. I'd rather have 3. So what I want to do over here, and I want to drop this, probably 3. Whoop. Over it. and I can inspect the top of that hole here. Well, that's not what I meant to do. To here. That's 10 mil. Still doesn't seem quite right. It's 5.6. Oh, there's distance. So 5.6. Is probably for an 8 mil screw enough. So we're going to close that. And then over here, you can fancy layout. Yeah, Paul. I don't know how fancy it is, dude. But we'll see. Uh, I just clicked on a thing and moved a couple things around. They make it easy. But like I said, this side would be the back side, so don't really need to do anything there. This side, however, is what gets mounted. This will get mounted to that, right? So all of my countersinks or counter bores in this case would have to be on this side. Here's something I don't know. You can. I did not realize you could do that easily. Super duper. Um, it appears to be going the wrong way. So here's what I'll do. Edit sketch, circle. Should be 5.4, I think. Yeah. That. Yeah. Well, you know what? Before I do anything else, it's not what I clicked on. It's still not what I clicked on. What is this saying? BTT sensor mount, blah, blah, blah. I'll print a quick version of this just to see if things are where they're supposed to be before I get too carried away. Bring this up. Get rid of those. Come over here. Super duper. An hour? What? Oh. I was about to say, an hour. It's usually like 15, 20 minutes. 28. I'll print this real quick. So check this out if you're still there, Paul. Got the printer up there. I can come over here. Maybe. What'd I do with it? Dustin Baker, what's up, man? So I can come over to this thing, over to the dashboard. Is it showing all this stuff? Have I been on the wrong screen the whole time? Let me double check something real quick. Ha. So yes, I have been. You guys had no idea what the hell I was doing. It's just like me in the shop not hitting the camera button. Um, so just real quick, making a mount for this guy for my 3D printer. Actually, for the 3D printer you just saw running. Um, so it is currently homed. Now it's going to level the bed out. Well, actually, it's going to level the gantry to the bed. Tram the gantry to the bed. It's not technically leveling it. So it's done that. It'll go through these probe points a couple times until it gets to within a certain tolerance. It should probably hit it on this run. Yeah. So it's within 0.004371 millimeters of difference between the 4 points. I'm not printing on this particular printer though, right now. So let me come back to this. I'll bring this back up. This is what I was working on. So I just sent this to a printer, and it's essentially just a mount for this thing. I had one I found online, but it's oriented in a direction I don't want it to be in. I would prefer it to be mounted this way. So I just took measurements from this and made my own. And I'm sure had I spent some time looking, I could have found that, but I could just make it too. You should make some 3D print anvils. Yeah. Um, there are models out there. I'm actually working on. Do I have it? I don't have it. I've been sketching it out a little bit. Um, it's going to be an anvil. Let me show you. Maybe. Let me show you. Maybe. It's going to be. The body will be at least this big, which is 200 and I think the print doesn't say on these. It says right there 256. So this is a 256 squared build plate. It'll probably be closer to 250. That'll be the main body, and then I'll have a horn that will be printed separately, probably half of this size, and a heel that'll be half of this size, and those will fit into it, and then it's going to be, 200-ish mil tall, whatever that comes out to. But I wanted, um, I will have those done this year. I want them done in time for the fair, with the idea being that we can key those into a striking anvil, hand a kid some clay, and he's got a functional anvil to work on at his height. Um, the other thing is I have a friend. He wants to be able to, like Sword in the Stone kind of thing, but he wants to use it as a display for knives. So I don't know about that so much. It'll work, but what he's asking for, I think, hides most of the knife. So I'm not sure why you would want to do that. But hey, if he wants to do that, you know that guy. It's Joe Siebold. But back to my fusion thing. So I just kicked this off on the printer real quick, and there's nothing fancy going on here. It's just got mounting points for the sensor. So it's for this. And then a place to run a screw through that attaches to a 2020 extrusion with a T-nut. So the T-nut will drop in between these two posts with an M3 screw. These posts really only serve a function in terms of preventing, once you go to tighten this down, it's not going to rack on the extrusion. That's the only reason those nubs are there. They go into the extrusion to prevent it from racking. Here's one. Same thing, right? It's just, all they do is once they go in there, they don't serve any other purpose. They're not holding, they're not structural by any stretch. It just prevents this from twisting on the extrusion because you're only using one attachment screw. On the mount, yeah, you know that guy. On the mount, these should be counterbored, and I was getting ready to do that, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and print a test version of this just to make sure these holes line up. But while that's printing, I will do that on this. One of the things I can do, I don't know what's going on there. Let me line this hole up. There we go. So I can just use the hole tool, and it will drill the hole. Let's say we want a 15 millimeter hole, right? We want, that's right, that's right. Actually, I'm gonna make, yeah, that's fine. And then there's enough clearance here. So let's, boom, and then it just does the counterbore for you. Makes it handy. So I can do the same thing here. Maybe. Why is it doing it upside down? That's weird. Here, let's do this. Sometimes this damn thing, make sure my hole's lined up. It is not. Okay, there's that one. Come on, you. There's that one. Apparently I have to select that face every time. And that one. There. Now it's got the counterbore in it. I don't know how. Should be enough there. It's kind of hard to see it. There we go. Oh, I see what. There. Now you can see it a little bit better. But that other print already started. I'm not going to mess with that too much. I suspect this is going to fit. I think the things that I got to look for are the spacing here. It's actually, this is the side I'm mounting to. This is where the sensor will go. So as long as my holes line up, I should be good. The only thing I might have to change, likely, possibly, would be the location of the holes. And that's relatively easy. I can just move them up or down as I need to. Likely, if anything, I'm going to have to move them down some. But we'll see. I don't want to make this like a whole day ordeal trying to get this thing fitted up. Not my interest. But yeah, that's really all I'm doing. And then all this thing does is a sensor that detects whether or not you still have filament. Which is funny because just the other day I was doing something and then I turned my back, did something else, and I started looking at the video feed, which was being shown earlier. Let me go back to that. Transition to that. So it was on this video feed, and I was watching it, and then I realized it was about that high off of the print itself, so it wasn't doing anything. And I was like, "What's going on?" And I walked over there and started looking at it, and it wasn't extruding any filament, and I realized it had run out of filament. And had I had this, in place and configured, it would have paused the print once this ran out. It would have said, "Hey, you just ran out of filament, dude. Can't continue." And ideally, you have a couple of these. You have one coming into the machine, and then you have one at the tool head. So it says, "Okay, well, we've exceeded the spool, but we know the distance from here to the tool head, and there's a sensor on the tool head. So once we know we get to here to that as a defined length, we know what that is. We can continue to extrude up to that point, and then after that, once we hit that, we know from the entrance into the tool head to the nozzle, we know what that length is. We can extrude up until that point, at which point we're completely out of filament, and you know you need to do something. But likely, I would have it just throw an error once it got to the first one for now. When you do like multi-material filament changers and things like that, that's when all those extra sensors come into play. Um, but I don't need that for this. What I do need is, and any blacksmith should know these things. This is kind of funny. This is something I see a lot in the 3D printing world. Guys will print something. So this rise right here, this offset, right? They will print something similar to this, except this riser will be, it'll be, I can show you probably. It'll be this tall. It'll be something like this, or taller. Oh, I'm not showing you. So it'll be they'll have this transition, right? So they'll have something like this, and then this thing will be really tall. And then what will happen is they'll do something, and this breaks. It snaps right off. Can you guys guess where it snaps off and breaks? Probably can. But if you don't know, it almost always breaks right down here in this joint. Um, I'm not going to actually do that, but it usually would break right where that blue line is. Because of the transition. It's a sharp transition. It's the weakest point right there. Even in plastic, that's just the way it is. So what I'm going to do, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to find a chamfer that I like, usually about 0.25. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to do that for the rest of these. All these holes. And 0.25. Boom. Give those all a nice little chamfered hole there. Now, in these corners, I'm going to put a fillet. Excuse me. So, in the corners, I'll put a fillet just so that they're not. Usually this is a little bit, I don't need as much in those corners. Just something to ease that a little bit. I don't know. 2.5. That looks better. So we'll go ahead, we'll roll with that. All right. So just easing that transition a little bit. Not as much of a stress riser. You see, it just kind of eases into that. And then on the other side, we'll do the same thing. We'll just hit each hole. Give them all a chamfer. And that's all I really need. For no more than what this thing is, that should be enough. And as long as my holes line up where I want them to, and save this as an actual part that I'll print in something other than this ugly magenta color. We'll see. I wonder I doubt it. I was thinking, I wonder if there's a way. Um, I wonder if there's a way that I can hijack the Bamboo Lab printer video feed and pump it into. But I don't know. I'm sure I could figure it out, but doing that with the Voron printer is easy because I control everything on that. Um, but yeah, the is it still not? No, it's showing it. Okay. Um, but the amount of time I would spend trying to figure that out, I just don't know that it's worth it. I mean, I don't know that this is worth it, to be honest. The next thing I need to figure out is tunes, because I was sitting here just doing my thing, and I realized, oh, that's a lot of dead silence. Um, so I want to figure out a way to do some tunes that won't get me blocked, um, pushed into this damn thing. Um, so we'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see. But I want to do things like this and then show. Let me save this before I forget. This is the BTT filament. No, it is the BTT. Actually, let's just do it all right. BTT Smart Filament Sensor V2. All right. So, provided that that print comes out, which we can check on, um, I can check on. You won't see what's going on, but we're most of the way there. Dog is losing his shit for no reason. Um, and oh, I can show you this other thing too, right? So within Fusion, I don't know if you're familiar with it or not. Anybody watching? All right. So there's nothing complicated going on here. But let me hide the body. Bring up this. Edit the sketch. All of that was based off of this little sketch, right? I mean, it's a 2D sketch. There's nothing crazy. All I've done is locate um, where my holes are going to be. Um, I put these here for visual. I didn't even use these. These can be removed. They actually play no part in what was done. But yeah, it's just based off of this little sketch, and then you based off of the sketch, you can extrude it up to this thing. Let me go back to edit. Really weird. Anyways, um, yeah, these lines here, they were not used. You can see I'm removing them, and it changes nothing here. Um, they were just visual for me. I probably should have made them construction lines, but I didn't change it because I knew I didn't need to. Um, yeah, that's really all there is to this thing. I mean, it's super simple, and you can make a variety of things super simple like that. You can start getting into crazier things if you wanted to. You could create a plane, um, and then go from here to here, and it would essentially create an arc. I don't know if you can do that with the plastic thing. I haven't played with this yet. If I wanted to come to here, um, boundaries to avoid, no boundaries. We don't need to worry about that. Generate shapes, and then I've not played with this, by the way. I've seen it played with once. Sounds weird. Uh, I've seen somebody use this once. Um, so you can do some different things. I think there's more setup required to do this, but you could essentially go from here to here and create. It will create an arch here based off of various things. But see, I think what it's doing now, it's calculating all the known structural possibilities of doing some kind of plastic mold modeling between these 2 points or these two faces. So that could take it. It might not come up with anything because it's gonna be like, I don't know what the hell you're trying to do. Um, but it could also take an hour to calculate that too, and then come up with all kinds of crazy shit. Um, but yeah, you can do some cool things. You can come in here and create an angled plane and shave this off is one way to do it. Or let's say, you know what, I don't like how blocky this looks. I could come up here, click on this guy, chamfer this, and let's say we're going to take off 5 mil. Or, hey, it looks like I could probably go 6. Nope, I can bet you I can go 5.6 though. Yeah, so, I can shave that down. I'm not going to do that. But like up here, I don't need all of that, right? Because my connection points, Jesus, I knocked that off and it just went flying. I don't even know where it went. Under my chair somewhere. Wow. Anyways, my connection points are here. Nothing down here serves no purpose, right? So essentially speaking, this right here could technically just be in my way. I mean, it's not going to be, but it could technically be in my way. So I could come up here and chamfer that down 5.6 and give myself a little chisel point. Um, or let's just say 5.5, right? Let's say just do that. So gave me a little chisel there, I guess. That would reduce the amount of filament being used, but I'm not going to do that. What I could do also is I could create a line, and I know that if let's see, I'd be about 2 millimeters off of that ledge. So I'm gonna start my line here. Let's say I'm gonna start my line, I don't know, here, right here, straight across. Boom. Whoop, whoop. Come on, finish that. So now I got a line there. I can connect these. Stop helping me. The bird is going crazy. He is losing his shit. Yeah, I could create this line up here, and then if I wanted to, um, stop helping me, Jesus. Now I could do is create a line from here to here, right? And then do the same thing over here. I can line from here to here. And if I wanted to, I could just, Jesus, essentially just get rid of that. I ain't gonna do that. Downstream 50. So yeah, but I want to take that over there, get rid of it. So if I wanted to really streamline this model, I could just get rid of that portion of it. But I'm not going to do any of those things because I don't even know if my holes line up yet. They should. What is going on here? There we go. guys hear that fucking bird? It's the story of my life, man. Story of my life. Yeah, you guys can hear it. I can see it on the meters. I don't know if you can hear it, but anyways, click on this homie thing. So we got my Lego. Back to that thing. What is today? It's Thursday. I might be inclined to put my pants on and go to Kurt's. It just might be. But I'm going to stop this now and go see if my thing fits.